There cannot be any world peace if there's no peace inside of the individual, because there's no world to be peaceful. The people make up the world. You cannot fix a world. That's why all this war against this, war against this organization or this cause, it doesn't work. You cannot bring peace to the world when the man is in turmoil. So self-love is where everything starts. And she rightly even quoted the Bible by saying, you cannot love your neighbor if you don't love thyself. Love starts with ourselves first. The self, the individual. Once the individual is at peace with himself, loves herself, loves internally, personally, comes from within, then you can now give your neighbor love. You cannot give what you don't have. If you don't have love, you cannot give it out. I have a couple X's, right? I said, if you can only express love to me the way you express to our child, that it will mean a lot to me, right? Most mothers would say nice words to their children better than they say to their spouses, better than they say to their husbands, better than they say to their boyfriend, better than they say to their mates. Most females, and don't get me wrong, it's not about women bashing. Oftentimes, guys even do it too. Guys will talk to their spouse worse than they talk to their kids. People often talk to children in a nice way. We are more forgiving to kids. We are more acceptance when they make mistakes, when they mess up. We're more appreciative of them. But half of that error, not even half, close, remotely, little bit of error comes from your spouse, comes from your mate. There we go, the talking down, the back chatting, the screaming, the yelling. We bring out all the weapons, all the ammunitions, the big guns come out. The unforgiveness, the repetition of hammering on the fault, the one fault that this person did, or the one thing they did that you don't approve of. We go repetitiously. It's like a broken record. That's what's causing most problems in relationships today. I met with this expert in Tesla, fixing Tesla. This guy has a nice body shop here in the OC, and he was talking about communication. Look at the war, what's going on in Ukraine, in Russia, and these are people, when you meet them out here, Ukrainians can talk to Russians, but because of the war, they seem to distance themselves, and because the fact that they cannot communicate what is causing the war, basic lack of communication or lack of the proper communication. The fact that you are talking does not mean you're communicating. You see, most times people just talk to be heard, to get something out of their chest. But communication, the key to communication is what? Not talking. And when I say not talking, I don't mean being quiet. The key to communication is listening. It takes enormous skill to listen. More self-development, more awareness, more consciousness to listen. Because everybody wants to talk all the time. It's like people talk to the point like it looks like people have a verbal disease. They just have this need to keep talking and talking and talking and talking. And you find out what people are saying 99% of the time is coming from the negative ways they're thinking. Because speech is the expression of thought. You cannot say something if you haven't thought about it first. What do people say oftentimes when they go like, oops, I didn't think before I said that? That is not true. Every word that comes out of everybody's mouth went through a thought process. Maybe you're not as conscious of those words before you said them, yes, that's understandable, because there are levels of consciousness. Consciousness is practice. Being aware is practice. Awareness is practice. You become aware of what you're saying when you pay attention to what you're thinking and how you were talking. And now, how do we tie this up to affirmations? Affirmations are simple words that you say in the present tense, in the positive tense, in the positive language about what you want. Affirmations is saying what you want. You cannot say what you want in the past. You cannot want something that is in the past. You only have memories of what's in the past. The only thing you can now create is what you want in the future. And what you want in the future is coming from how you are thinking right now in the present. So life happens in the present. Life happens now. That word, happening. Happening is present continuous tense. Happening is happening now. Life is not stagnant, it's now. Even what I said 2 seconds ago is gone, it's in the past. Life is happening now. So our life is a result of what we do with what we are thinking now. What we're thinking now, we use that information we are thinking now. The way affirmations work is, it's not what you even say that matters, it's what you are thinking about what you say. So saying affirmations is just to help you think and program your mind to always think about what you want. If it's a relationship, you want a loving husband, you want a loving man, a loving woman, a loving child, anything. You focus on what you love, what you want. You build your affirmation to be words that say, I have a healthy, loving, caring, affectionate partner. I'm in a relationship with name all the qualities you want in your partner. Name all the qualities you want. Talk about the qualities you want. Focus on the qualities you want in your partner. That is what your affirmation is built around. Affirmation is built around what you want. Oftentimes we talk about what we don't want and never even talk about what we want. That is the problem or challenge or issue with humanity. This world is so negative. Think about it. Somebody tried to do the news channel one time where they only say positive things, and they failed. It failed. People care more about negative things that are so self-sabotaging. People are interested in where things are burning, what is happening, who's cheating on who's gossiping about who played this, who was caught cheating, all the catfish, the snap, whatever fish shows, the 90-day fiance, the reality shows, the real housewives of this, real housewives of that, the bachelor, the bachelorette. What is happening in all these shows? People are always talking about the backbiting, backstabbing, who is tearing who down, who is breaking whose trust. That is what makes this show do so well, because that's what people find entertaining. And I don't blame people. I don't blame people that do this. We were raised, or we grew up in a society where instead of a mother would say, honey, if you get up, walk, you will fall. But you fall, you get up again and you try again. What do most parents say when a child is trying to walk, when a child is approaching the age of being able to walk? Oh, be careful, you're going to fall. Oh, be careful, you will hurt yourself. It's always about negative things. We program our kids from a very young age to be negative. Oh, be careful. Even that word be careful is a negative programming. You can say, honey, if you fall, you get up. Yes, kids are going to fall. Things are going to happen. People are going to get hurt anyways. That is the process of life. That's how nature has designed kids to learn to walk. Tell me, is there any child that will walk from crawling without falling? No, a child will fall 1,000 times, 10,000 times, but that child will get up again and keep going. See, we have been programmed from birth, from nature, to be resilient. The human being is very resilient, but there's been studies on adults. Adult human being is a totally different story. What is the average time an adult will try something and give up? An adult human being will try something less than one time and they give up. That is the programming of human beings. But a rat, there's been studies, a rat, they had cheese, they put the cheese by this apartment, they put the cheese by the door. The rat comes in, smells the cheese, goes to the cheese, gets the cheese, and it's happy. The researchers put the cheese further inside. The next day, the rat comes, looks around, no cheese, looks at the researcher like, hey, like, where's my cheese? The rat goes around, smells around, goes in the next door, finds the cheese, eats the cheese, is happy. The third day, the researchers put the cheese further inside. Same thing, the rat comes, smells around, looks for the cheese, not in the first room, looks for the cheese in the second room, not in the second room, look for the cheese in the third room, finds the cheese. You get my point. The rat finds the cheese further inside. They did the same study with human beings. They put a bunch of college kids in a room and they told them that we're going to lock this door from outside. Okay, but feel free to relax here. You can leave whenever you want. Open the door, go home, whatever you want. So they put this bunch of college kids inside the room. Now they increase the heat in the room, making it very uncomfortable for the college kids to be in the room. Because these kids walked in, the first time they walked in, they went then tried to open the door before anything was even done to confirm what they were told, that the doors would be locked from outside. They found out that it was true. They went and sat down. So they tried all kinds of different uncomfortable situations, even sent like fat gas. The room was smelling with gas, with stinky odor and smell. These college kids sat down, were so comfortable, did not leave that room. None of them left that room. Meanwhile, after they had gone in, the door was opened by the researchers from the back. The door was open, but the college kids did not know this. So they ran all kinds of uncomfortable situations, but none of them left because they were told that the door would be locked. So human beings give up on things, but the rat knows to go further, to search for what they want and get it. But a human being becomes complacent. They relax. We're creatures of habit. Once we try something and it doesn't work, we give up. We give up. We just give in, throw in the towel. That's it. Same thing when we do affirmations. When you do affirmations to reprogram your subconscious mind and you don't see results the next day, it does not matter. It does not mean that the affirmation is not working. You were not this way to begin with. What makes you think one practice of affirmation will get you what you want? What makes you think you going to the gym one day you will be buffed and fit or lose all the weight you want just because you went to the gym one time? It does not work like that. Nature does not work like that. Nature teaches us that you plant the seed, that seed will die, that seed will grow. There's seed time, there's harvest. You got to put in the work in your affirmations. The same thing if you've tried meditation. The same thing, the same principle. Meditation is a whole other story, maybe for another day. But the point is, when you start to meditate, your mind will do all kinds of things. And there's no secret about meditation. There's no holiness about meditation. You don't have to be a monk in the Himalayas to meditate. Meditation is just shutting off all other forms of distractions and listening to your super self, your inner self, or whatever name you call it, God, higher consciousness, higher power. That's all meditation is. Going inside, that's meditation. You being quiet and let that higher power, that higher person, your higher self talk to you. Ask that self question. Ask him, it, she, whatever name that person, if it's a person, that energy, ask that question. And that's what meditation is. You being quiet and let the universe talk to you. Let the universe talk to you. Let that voice talk to you. Let the inner voice talk to you. Let that higher consciousness talk to you. And you pay attention. I guess that's where you practice what we just talked about, listening. Most people can pray for 1 hour, but they cannot meditate for 1 minute. They cannot be quiet for 1 minute. We can talk all the rubbish and the nonsense that we want to speak to some God that you don't know where he is or she is or it is. The minute you think there's a God outside of you, on the outside, you've even lost it. You've made a mistake. There's an error right there. That's idolatry. You don't know what you were talking about. Well, who am I to say you don't know? Let's put it this way. The minute you think there's a God outside of you, a power, a being, a deity that can help you outside of you, you've given your power to somebody else. That is why it's so easy, very easy to blame circumstances on somebody else. Somebody else is the fall guy. It's my mother. It's my father because of what he did or didn't do. My daddy didn't love me. My mommy didn't love me. My brothers didn't love me. My family, they don't get along with me. My wife, they disappointed me. My ex did this. They thought they did that. They did this. This happened. That happened. It's always somebody else. Somebody else is always the fall guy. Somebody else is to blame. So practice listening. Practice being quiet. Start with, even if it's 30 seconds, start with 1 minute. Go up to 1 minute. You can meditate anywhere. Even if you do it at your place of work, go to the restroom, just be quiet for 1 minute. Quiet. There's walking meditation, there's standing meditation, there's sitting meditation, there's laying down meditation, there's all kinds of meditation. Just learn, understand, be open to what kind serves you best. Doing a little bit of meditation is better than doing no meditation. It's better than waiting to have a perfect moment to do meditation. Rounding up my talk, download my affirmations, download my wallpaper. I have a free wallpaper, 10 wallpapers that have words of affirmation. You can use those to help in whatever area you want to improve or treat. Use those affirmations. Affirmations, again, is just words that we speak to ourselves until they become words that we believe, that what we're talking about, we start believing it, we start thinking about those things that we want. And whenever we say what we want, there's no fear inside of us. There's no doubt inside of us. There's no self-deprecation. Once you get to the point where the words that you are affirming becomes very believable, you have conquered that issue. So have a good rest of your day. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Follow me on all social media. Download my podcast. Share with your friends and family. There might be one person or two people that need this word. Share with them. You can help somebody. All right. Thank you very much for listening and have a good rest of your day. Thank you. Bye.